The Empire of Maca has existed for nearly 1,000 years. Founded and ruled by Ava the Main, the immortal empress, it quickly expanded its borders thanks to the overwhelming power of its mages and the shrewd politics of its nobles. Now it has fully conquered the centre of the continent of Elmera, and although war has ended, peace still eludes its populace. As the Empire nears its first millennia, the signs of turmoil have become more frequent and apparent. Monsters are becoming more bold, nobles plot schemes of usurpation, and whispers of rebellion hang heavy in the slums. This gave rise to the adventurer. These strong individuals of all races and classes lend their might to the citizens of Maca to drive back monstrous incursions. There are even adventurers who perform deeds so noble that the people can see beyond their race to the hero that lies within. There are those who criticise these adventurers and claim they're nothing more than pawns used to advance the political machinations of nobles. Despite the immortal Empress herself making fewer and fewer appearances, there are those whose faith in the Empire remains unshaken, but the wise know that it only takes a few sparks to ignite the flames of change. Allow me to introduce you to these sparks. Welcome to Elmera.
Hello and welcome to Dice Age, a real play D&D podcast. My name is Jack, and I am the dungeon master for this game. I'm joined, of course, by the wonderful heroes of this game. Would you all mind introducing yourselves?
Hi, I'm AJ. I play Edgar Wood, the blood hunter half-elf.
Hi, I'm Alice Rose. I play T, or Tiana, the elven sorceress.
Hello, I'm Mitchell, and I play Esaraeus, the human rogue.
Hi, I'm Zach, and I'm playing Tauros, the tiefling paladin.
What is up, people? I am Trey, and I will be playing Oberon, Perseus, Maximus, Germanius, Cornelius, Alexander, Claudius the Second, your drow fighter.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for introducing yourself. AJ, you were kind of being a little quiet. What's going on?
Hey, so I kind of can't be there in person, and I gotta be a little quiet. The Mockin police may or may not have arrested me.
I'm sorry, what?
Apparently, they think we had something to do with the deaths of that reporter guy and the intern we hired.
AJ, we kinda did.
I'm kinda in the interrogation room right now.
That's enough out of you. You gonna start answering our questions, punk? Detective Cop, tell him what happens when people don't answer our questions.
They make us real sad.
No, you goof. They get an all expense paid to the slammer.
Hey guys, this is really cool and all, but I gotta go. My friends are waiting.
Oh yeah, these friends of yours who are complicit in the murder of Oddgear, the intern, and Dr. Harold Artemis?
Whoa. Alright, we had nothing to do with those. Those are just accidents, fellas.
That's Mr. Fellas to you, buddy.
Are you crying?
I told you, you make us really sad.
It was all just a little coinky dink, huh, you nincompoop? Also a coincidence that we have you hanging out with the cool kobolds? A known gang of hooligans?
Okay, first of all, I really think Detective Cop could use a tissue and some juice or something. And second of all, those kobolds were more weird than dangerous. Also, they robbed us. Are you not going to do anything about that?
About that lion mouth of yours?
Hey, Stippy, can I actually get a juice box?
No, we're in the middle of detectiving. We can have juice and orange slices afterwards. Where was I? Oh yeah, just listen to you lie about not murdering two innocent people.
Guys, come on. I just hired those two to do a recap for us.
Recap on what?
The story of a couple adventurers from the Avon Academy. It's actually really intense right now. They're in Cashel, and they're trying to find out what happened to the lord of that area and his daughter, who apparently had a fling with a half elf named Harrison Wallman.
Oh, and what? These goofballs went around the merchants district talking to people like the Headhunters Guild and the local inn called the Full Quiver?
Yeah, exactly. How the hell did you know that? Wait, do you listen to Dice Age?
No. Sounds lame. I'm just real good at detectiving.
Right. Well, before they went into the Full Quiver, we learned that the place had a mark of the rebellion, the group Essa used to be a part of. Then we got a lot of really great backstory on Essa on how he left the group because they'd become too radical.
Oh, and how he and T are both connected to Lord Richmond. He wants to smooch with T. That's what you told me when we were listening, Stimpy.
So you do listen. That's actually pretty cool.
Oh, you shut up. We only listened because it provided us with evidence to put you behind bars. I don't care that we found out T joined the academy to get away from Richmond, while Essa joined because of him. Or that T and Taros grew up together in the orphanage.
Oh, okay, now you're the one who's crying.
Do you want me to get the juice, Stimpy?
Okay, fine, whatever. Maybe it's an interesting story, alright? Maybe seeing T disguise herself as Richmond's new wife, and Oberon pretending to be a lesser noble to see Lord Rockfort was fascinating.
Oh, I liked when Edgar, Essa, and Toros did the drinking contest and met the person who Essa found out as part of the rebellion.
You freaking nincompoops left us on a cliffhanger. Lord Rockfort wants Oberon to marry his daughter, and his daughter looks a lot like T. What is happening?
Dude, honestly, I don't know, but if you let me...
Hang on, kid. We're getting you out of here.
Ow! Fuck! This kobold is... Ow!
Oh no, my juice!
Wait, what the fuck? Aren't you Stu's dad and Arcanoth? The cool kobolds?
Of course I am, kiddo. I can't stand these establishment types. I've been sticking it to the man for years now. Now let's get you out of here.
Yeah, fuck the government. Plus, we kind of owe you one for covering us with all the crimes we did.
I didn't do that.
Okay. Sure, you didn't. Wink.
Told you not to say wink, bud. Anyways, we gotta go. Killing 2 cops is not good for the 3 of us.
Wow, you got back here real fast.
Yeah, those cool kobolds are a lot.
You forgot your Go-Gurt, bud.
Is that Gogurt covered in blood?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess instead of dealing with that, let's get back into Dice Age. Hooray!
Woo.
So, bar group or manor group?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah,
We left
so
We left off on
Rollies?
men group.
We can roll for it.
Rollies?
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 Who
Let's
wants to
rollies.
roll?
Alright. AJ,
I'm rolling
AJ,
for
me-
us.
Okay, okay, Alice.
Yeah.
I think Mitchell should roll for us.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
Just straight.
Alright,
D20.
just a straight D20. I'm gonna count down on my fingers from 3. When I hit 0, roll. 3, 2, 1.
13.
all right.
You suck.
I do suck.
You. Oh, was that directed to me or Alice?
That was directed. I rolled the fucking
That's
like words in there too.
I don't know.
I never claimed to be any better. I just said you suck.
I didn't say I was good.
Okay,
there you go.
T rolled an 11 at least.
4th time's the charm.
All right. Well, so
All right,
we
drunks first.
it looks like we're starting back at the bar. So
Back at the barnyard.
yep. So we come back in to the full quiver. Standing in front of our less nobly accepted members of the party is a a woman in a maid outfit who just beat the shit out of some hunters, and who you've just learned is a part of the rebellion.
Yep.
Yikes.
So, yeah, they would have heard her responding in that codified language, so they would know.
Yep.
I kind of turned to the other two, just like, hey, just to log off. Well, what do we do?
Can I take a look around, see what kind of reaction we got from people? How busy is it? Do we have attention on us right now?
Yeah, give me a perception check.
Oh boy. Oh, 19.
Hey, there you go.
Hey, not bad for a 0 perception.
Cool.
Yeah, looking around, you see like some people turn their heads when the altercation happened. Most people are happy, turning back to their drinks though. Like a few people are still keeping an eye on you, but like the vibe you get is more just, oh, someone just got into a fight, not, oh, like rebellion shit.
Secret shit.
Yeah. But the woman, let's see, she looks at you all and says, well, I think maybe we should find a space a little more private to continue our discussion. You do notice also on her outfit there is kind of an emblem right at the kind of at the collar of her maid outfit. Anyone can make a history check if they want to try to recognize the symbol on that emblem.
I would love to.
History. That's a +4. Didn't do me shit.
Oh my God.
Not a
So
4.
Edgar
Oh,
got a
same.
4.
Goodness.
So Edgar got a 4. Essa got a 4, and
I got an 8.
or Essa got an 8, and
I have a +4.
and Toros got a 4. None of you recognize the emblem.
Combined, that's a 16.
Combined, that's a 16. Unfortunately,
That's true.
you all don't have telepathy,
Psychic-
so
That's
that
like
you
psychic
can
powers.
work
And is
together
it the
to
hive
figure
mind
it out.
feat?
No, unfortunately not.
Bullshit.
So you don't recognize the symbol. But she offers to lead you all to what looks like kind of an office further back in the tavern.
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna kind of hold my hand up like a wait a second motion to her.
Mhm.
Turn to Edgar, Toros, and kind of lean in and go. And kind of whisper so she doesn't hear. Look, I know you guys aren't involved in this, but I want to make sure that I'm pretty sure that none of this is gonna hurt us. But I want to make sure. So I want to go and check with whoever I'm gonna assume whoever this person is. And I kind of point to her and make sure that we're all on the clear. And if you two want to stay out of this, I understand that. If you just want to sit in the bar and wait.
I look at Toros. I don't mind waiting out here if you don't want to go in, Toros. But I'll leave it up to you.
I'd much rather be by S's side if they need us.
Okay. Let's see. This might be our only lead with info on the half-elf we're looking for, too.
Yeah. I'm going to turn to her and say, and kind of like nod.
All right. She leads you back. She gives a nod to the bartender, who nods to her. You all, there's a lot of nodding going on. A lot of nonverbal cues. And leads you into this back office. It smells kind of like, stale food, and like you see a few like tapped or like ready to go kegs around, and she leans against one of them and says, "So, I didn't know that the rebellion was sending any more people over here."
We're looking into something that be of importance.
Oh, did you get my communication about my missing operative?
I do not believe we did, but we would be delighted in learning about this if we can help in any way.
She looks a little disappointed, and then says, "Oh, I guess you must have already been on your way here before the letter got to you." Um, were you going to say something, Edgar?
Is this all in like thieves' cant, or is she speaking in common?
No, she's speaking in common. Like she seems pretty assured that this is you know, far enough away from prying eyes that she doesn't feel the need to
Yeah.
continue in thieves'
Got it.
camp.
Cool.
But she says, "So I've been, in my position for a while. I've been able to start up a pretty decent cell here, but one of my agents who was looking into Lord Rockford went missing about a week ago, and I haven't really been able to uh, investigate it as much as I'd like because I might, put my cover at risk if I did that."
Hmm.
Well, we can. Can you give us the name of this operative? What they look like?
Yeah,
Maybe we ran into them before. Maybe we could help.
sure. So my uh, operative is a agent. He's a halfling named Thayer. Um, he's a pretty decent rogue. He was, uh, you know, kind of just a pickpocket on the streets. I was able to recruit him, and he was helping to trail the Lord Rockford. He actually found out that Lord Rockford has some place that he leaves to most nights, and he was supposed to try to trail him all the way to wherever that is before he went missing. I just never heard back from him after he went on that mission to trail the Lord.
Do you have any information on where this might have been, where the trailing might have taken place, roads, rails?
It's usually the Lord will leave with one of his elite guards from his mansion at night. Uh, I'm not certain what direction they head into, but uh, it usually is from his mansion at night and with one of his more elite trusted guards.
Was this just general reconnaissance on the Lord, or was something in particular sparking it?
General reconnaissance mostly. We're looking for, of course, there's the rumors of the Lord that would be beneficial to the rebellion to use as blackmail or leverage against him. If we could find out anything on that, that'd be great. He was explicitly ordered not to engage and to avoid detection at any cost, like even like abandoning the mission if it was deemed necessary for his safety and preventing his detection.
Hmm.
We will certainly take up the task of looking for this missing operative here. It's a shame.
Right. Yeah, no, I can't really do that without arousing too much suspicion, I don't think.
Yes. People will not suspect us. Maybe we should keep a pretty low profile since we've got here.
We've actually been looking into the little blackmail secrets part of Rockford ourselves. Do you have any leads, and have you followed up on anything with the half elf that was said to be involved with the lady?
Right, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the thing, right? Like that's part of following Lord Rockford was to see if maybe, because I have been able to get into his study and look through his ledgers and things like that. Unfortunately, he hasn't had any paper trail as far as what he did with the half-elf that he has in the mansion. So we were hoping that any evidence that could exist would be at wherever this secondary location he was traveling that he visits is. And that's what the hope was before Thayer went missing, and I had to start putting a bit of a, that having an agent go missing kind of means I had to freeze about all the other operations going on in the city. We want to make sure that we know what's going on, if there's an information leak, stuff like that, so that we don't risk having even more potential leaks happening as a result.
Do you know when and where the Lord Rockford will leave his manor on these nights?
It's usually closer to midnight or just after. And it's several times a week. It's not necessarily every night, but it's fairly frequent. Especially, considering how much time he spends here in his mansion compared to other nobles.
So, we're, as my friend here said, we're new to this town. What else should we know about Rockford if we don't want to get caught like your agent did? Anything we should know about his habits, behaviors?
Right. He used to be like a very shrewd, cunning man. In the past few years, that's kind of been unraveling a bit. His, as well as his influence in noble society, has also been kind of waning as well. But he's still not someone to take lightly. He's very good at sniffing out deception. I've been doing my best. It's taken me years to establish the cover that I have and being able to get as much trust with him as I've been able to do. And part of why I can't really get too directly involved in my agent's missions is because, the head maid of Rockford Manor can't be seen even tangentially involved with
I was going
rebellion.
I was going to question when you said you had a trusting relationship with them. That would make sense.
Right. Were you unaware that I was the head maid of Rockford Manor?
Again, our mission has been to look into the missing half-elf. We were told to meet with the
Wait,
group.
Your mission was to look into the missing half-elf? I thought you said you didn't get my message. Give me a deception check.
Yep.
No.
Put me to thy mouth.
Yeah. That's 13.
All right, let's see an insight check from this
Can't be
I'm right there,
lies.
buddy.
That one.
Get that backup carrot.
Let's see how this. I wonder how this major spy for the rebellion. I wonder what her
That
insight
one,
is like.
that one.
All right, I will let you know. She does have a +4 to her insight.
So she's a 9.
So on a 9 or lower, she sees through your lie.
Or would it be
9
on a
or higher.
9 or higher, because she would.
Oh, that's what I
need
meant.
this
Yeah,
skill
yeah.
check.
Sorry,
8
9 or
and-
higher, she would see through.
Only a
your lie.
9. Nothing
That's
higher
like
than-
slightly less than 50%.
Yeah, we're fine.
Well,
She
not
rolled a dirty 20 on her insight.
It's time to get the fuck out of here.
Foot me to the mouth, and it choked me to death.
So you say that, and her eyes suddenly narrow.
I'm immediately going to, in the rebellion language, go. I can explain it all. Do not attack. Immediately, just try to just like show that I know the language at least somewhat.
Right. She is. Give me a persuasion check.
You already showed you knew the language.
Yeah,
You
right.
Give me a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Yeah.
I am looking at Tauros, and I am putting my hands up as I look at him.
First, nice.
6 and a 9 on the persuasion. So
Nice. Tauros is just he's kind of kept towards the door this whole time, but like he's definitely just kind of like watching the situation. He's just trying to keep himself calm, and his fists are kind of he kind of usually just walks around with his hands just kind of balled or like very visible, but like you can see he's not lifting them up at the moment, but he's making them very visible. Of like, hey, these are my hands. Here are my hands.
Yeah.
Please don't beat the shit out of me.
So she is no longer leaning against the keg. She stands to her full height.
She keg stands?
Yes. She stands to her full 6'3" height, and kind of like rolls her shoulders, and like you can feel like just pure strength and controlled power just emanating from her. And she says, "You speak the language, but I'm starting to think you're not actually one of my allies."
Does she say that in like common?
Oh, she says that in common. And so she is going to hold up a fist and say, "You need to explain who you are, what you're doing here, and why I should trust you very quickly, or else I am beating the shit out of you. And I'm burying you in one of these kegs."
Look. I was a member of the rebellion, not anymore. Personal differences, I left, okay? Just that's all. But I'm not your enemy. My friends are not your enemies. We are investigating the missing half-elf. That is true.
Okay. Why are you doing that?
We are under the employee of a...
I wanna just I'm gonna look at Essa.
Give me an
like
insight check, Essa, to see if you like look at and notice the look.
Can I make an
Unnecessary. He
intimidation
does
check?
not perceive the look.
And 16.
Give me a persuasion check.
Can I do intimidation?
Okay, give me intimidation. That's a nat 20.
There's the menacing kanji from JoJo flying up.
So you're about to say that you're working for a noblewoman to this rebellion member, and then you suddenly feel like lasers boring into the back of your head, and you turn and you look and see Edgar just fucking like you can almost see some of like a sorry bone sprouting from his face as he's like menacingly staring at you.
Fucking bones grow on his eyebrows to like burrow them deeper.
Yeah, his eyes are furrowed even deeper. And you very clearly get the message of maybe don't bring up that we're working for a noblewoman.
We have a vested interest in what has befallen this person and what happened to them.
Yeah, listen, I'm sorry for the level of deception, but here are the facts. We're both looking for the same thing. We don't give a fuck about Rockford. And at this point, finding out what we can to get rid of him is in our best interest, like it seems it's in yours, right? The half elf was our main lead. We have some connections. That's what we're trying to do. And from what it sounds like, from what you've already told us, you're kind of in need of some help to keep up with the mission that you have. You're looking at a half elf, a human, and a tiefling. We're not going to fucking do shit that's going to get you in any more trouble. No one who can get you in trouble is going to believe us anyway. I'm sorry for the lies, but I think the business that you're in and the business that we're in kind of deals a lot with lies. You need help, and we need help. Honestly, you've given us a lot more information than we've had.
Okay. Give me a persuasion check. No disadvantage.
Oh, God. 14.
Okay.
Hey, not bad. Not bad.
14. She hears you and she thinks about it for a second and then says, okay. Yeah. I'm still kind of pissed, but I get it. You've got your reasons for doing this, and from what I can tell, you're not exactly on the side of anyone that I wouldn't want to get involved with. I do need help right now. You are right. If you can help me figure out what happened to my agent, I will be happy to work with you and share with you even more information that I have on Lord Rockford. But if you're not willing to help me get him out of here so that we can, liberate this city, we're done once you, we're done here.
I'm gonna look at Essa and Tauros.
Tauros looks like he wants to say something, but he's really holding his tongue right now.
Penis.
Broke the whole. Essa looks kind of like looks back at Edgar, kind of nods. He's going in. He's in for this.
Tauros seems like he's into this. There's something you can tell that's on his mind right now. It's not that he's like, oh, this is a bad idea. He definitely gives you a nod of like, yeah, let's do it. But there's something eating at the back of his mind. You can kind of
Tauros, give me an insight check.
You got it. That's a 19.
19 insight? Okay. So Tauros, you've got this like thing eating away in the back of your head. You're not exactly sure. And then like as there's this pregnant pause in the room, there's this tension as you're waiting to see if you accept this offer or not. You suddenly, like, it kind of bursts forth. Lady Ward wants to control Lord Rockford. If Lord Rockford isn't in control of the city anymore, it doesn't matter if you get blackmail on him because she's lost her leverage. She can't control him anymore. But with a 19, I will say, you also know if you can maybe finagle something so that whoever does take over control of the city after Rockford is deposed has some sort of, if you can get some sort of dirt on them, that Lady Ward can use, that could be useful. Or maybe you could try to help facilitate some sort of negotiation agreement between Lady Ward and the new controller of the city. So it's not necessarily a thing of getting rid of Rockford instantly fails your mission, but it does complicate it.
It makes it a little harder.
Yeah.
Than what we already have on the fucking
Which is
hot
already hard enough.
But also, you also know, like, you can agree to this now and then just not follow up on your end of the deal. Like, that won't put you in a good light with this woman who seems very capable of breaking you all and stuffing you in empty kegs.
Two of us, or not. Well, one of us is super squishy.
But you know, if that's another option as well. I don't know if that's the thing that you were thinking about with.
Actually, it was partly that. There's a couple things in his head right now that he will most likely bring up as they leave, but he gives a nod of like, "I'm cool with this agreement if we want to go along with this."
Yes, and that's too.
Where are you gonna be tomorrow morning? Back at the manor?
Yeah, I'll. Most of my days I'm spent at the mansion. I don't really get much time off, as you can imagine.
How about same time tomorrow? We have a couple other people in this crew. Just want to run this by. You'll have your answer for sure then.
Sounds good. And don't forget, she says, and she like walks up to you and puts like a really strong hand on your shoulder. And she squeezes it just a little too much. Not enough to where she's actually hurting you, but like she's making sure the message sticks. I have eyes all over this city. And if I think that you're going to endanger my operation, I just want you to know that I would do anything to keep my operatives safe. And she gives you like a kind of condescending pat on the cheek and walks out the room.
As that's happening, Edgar thinks he's just thinking it to himself, but he says out loud, "Oh fuck, that's hot."
As she's like, after she's already left the room.
No. Right as the tapping happens, yeah.
She like, okay.
He's not the wisest boy. He's got a 6 wisdom.
Let me roll something real
God
quick.
motherfucking damn it.
Let me roll
Get
something.
us out of this fucking bar. Get us out of this bar.
Yo, 3 dumbest characters to deal with this.
You didn't.
I did. We did.
So
No,
you say, "God, that's hot," as she's like condescendingly tapping, like patting your cheek, and like she just kind of smirks as you say that, and then just continues to walk out the room.
Fuck.
Horse just gives a very light smack atop the head of Edgar and walks out of the room.
Toros grabs a bat and says, "I'm sorry, buddy, but you're going to horny jail."
I'm going to horny jail. It's not
And then
you idiot.
goes-
It's a very just like a get your head in the game, and he just walks out.
And then Edgar goes, "God, that's hot."
Ugh.
Hey, don't tell anyone I said that, especially anyone from Avid. Never mind. Let's just go.
S is like, just not talking, but definitely just like not moving fast. He's falling behind the group. He is not happy in the situation.
Somehow we're in worse shape than when you guys entered the bar.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh.
How did the drinking contest where we got a bunch of people plastered not end as poorly as this did? And
And that has racism.
that had racism.
Ooh,
Wow.
okay, so we're
Because this had talking, Zach.
Oh, you're
Trey and I
right.
are going to show you how to properly derail a campaign.
okay. So with the camera pans back, as you all, I imagine you all are just heading back to the inn at this point.
Yeah.
And like everyone's just kind of like everyone's kind of hanging their head like we kind of fucked up a bit.
Edgar's like saying, "I met her hand when it was hot, a little hot." That's what I was trying to say.
Sure, buddy.
She does run hot, so that does check out.
Yeah.
You're helping your argument, Edgar.
Don't tell Oberon, please.
You can tell T whatever you want. I don't fucking care. Do not tell Oberon, please.
Your
so
secret's safe with
we'll pan away, back up to Rockfort Mansion. Back at Rockfort Manor, we have T, or as the name she gave to Lord Rockfort, Julia Richmond, and Oberon, or the name that he gave, Leon Fowler, sitting in this room with the Lord Rockfort and the Lady Eileen Rockfort, who, as we mentioned last episode, looks almost exactly like an older version of T.
Yeah, Oberon's eyes definitely he looks over and then he's like, oh, and then the eyes just immediately shoot back to T, go to Eileen. T, he's trying to do it he keeps his composure for the most part, but he's definitely like, oh.
Give me a deception check, Oberon.
Eat shit. No, I don't want you to eat shit.
A 6. Okay.
Shit.
You rolled a 6. So you're doing your best to be subtle about it, but it's noticeable. Everyone can see that you're kind of looking back and forth. T especially sees that you are looking back and forth between Lady Rockfort and her. And Lord Rockfort looks at you. He's a little confused, but he just goes, yes, so here is my lovely daughter, the Lady Eileen Rockfort. And she looks at you.
He will walk up to her and just go, a pleasure, my lady. Stick out her hand.
Yeah. So Lady Rockfort looks at you, T. And as you're kind of getting over the initial shock of how similar she looks to you, you notice this look of just undisguised malaise and almost kind of deep sadness on her face. And it looks like she looks at you, takes your hand, does a proper greeting. It looks like she's not even registering that there's another person in the room with her right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, almost just going through the motions, kind of.
Yeah. Not, it doesn't, there's no vibe of she's been enchanted or anything like that. It's just she's just not
trauma
mentally present.
Riding that high of life.
Yeah.
T will then, going through the courtly gestures. And this is his lordship, Leon Fowler.
My lady. And I will very much do the hand kiss the back of the hand.
Yeah, she does the proper curtsy, says, a good evening to you, Lord Fowler. We're very happy to have your company tonight. I understand that my father was interested in the two of us meeting each other.
Yes. May I say the pleasure is all.
Lord Rockfort is back there like, oh yeah, this is going great. And
Son-in-law in no time.
But Lady Rockfort is just not there. And she says, oh, you should accompany me for tea tomorrow. I know that I don't really get out much anymore, but I'm sure that we could have an enjoyable visit.
We would love to join you for tea tomorrow. T's fully jumping on, knowing that's not what she meant. I'm going to be there too. I'm not leaving him alone.
Yeah, Lord Rockfort kind of gives you a look of what the fuck are you doing? As you
plays
jump
it
in.
off being clueless because that is who she is.
Give me a deception check.
Oh, it's a good thing I have charisma stats. 13.
13. Let's see an insight from Rockfort.
I only rolled a 7.
He's a noble. He has to have negative charisma or negative insight.
That's true.
He rolled a 17. So he yeah.
As Okay, never mind. I'll let this resolve because this won't happen. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So he sees you jump in, and he just kind of smiles, but a very clear fake polite smile as he goes, "Oh, I'm sure that my daughter." I'm sure that the Lord Fowler doesn't need a chaperone for this visit, Lady Richmond, though I do appreciate your offer.
You as he says this, Oberon's just going to, yes, I appreciate it. And just kind of very how nobles do, where they put their hand up to the side of their mouth to act like they're hiding what they're saying, but they actually know them.
Mhm.
He just goes to Lord Rockford. I'm sorry, she's just worried. As you can tell, this isn't the first time that meetings have happened. She's just trying to be a good friend.
Okay. Give me pick between
I'm-
either persuasion or deception, depending on because
I
I
was
feel
about to
like
say,
I
I'm
feel like
not
both
lying.
could apply.
Pretty honest.
Both can
I was about
apply.
to say.
So
I was about to say, does my position of privilege help with this?
I think position of privilege specifically states when you're talking to common people, right?
Common folk and merchants
just
make every
that's- yeah.
effort to accompany you, and other people high birth treat you as a member of the same social sphere. You can secure an audience with the local nobility.
I'd say that wouldn't really give you advantage.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
but I'd say with that, if you did something that would be considered a slight, you wouldn't be as penalized as if someone else in the party did it. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Again, I've never.
Anything you can get.
Right.
Yeah. 15.
Hey.
Okay, at 15? Yeah. So you say that, and that kind of seems to smooth over Lord Rockford. His hackles kind of lower, and he's like, oh, okay, it's not. He says, oh, I understand. Friends can be protective of one another, and that's
Yes.
very nice. He's
Yes,
smiles very unconvincingly.
Yeah, and he's just like, you know how things can be in higher circles. You can never have enough people to watch out for you.
Right, of course.
But it would be my esteemed honor to meet with Lady Eileen tomorrow.
Wonderful. Yes, that would be just lovely. And you two are already making such a fetching pair as I speak.
Yes.
He says, kind of nudging his daughter, and she goes, yes, I'm very happy to have met you, Lord Fowler.
Yes, of course. Is it starting to get dark outside at this point?
Yeah, the sun's begun setting and stuff
Okay.
like that.
As this is happening, just going to turn. It appears that it is beginning to get late, and Lady Eileen appears a bit tired. Would I have the esteemed honor of escorting her back, making sure she makes it to her chamber safely?
I'm sorry, are you asking you
Asking Lord Rockford if I can be part of the escort to escort her back to her room.
Yeah. So you make this suggestion. Lord Rockford, you don't have to roll persuasion. He is that's a brilliant idea. He said a little too loud. And says yes, no, of course, I'd be. That's perfectly fine and good. You should definitely do that. And says I will of course accompany the new Lady Richmond to my door where she can await for your return, and then we will see you tomorrow. That will be lovely.
Of course, and I'll do the hold my arm out for her to take.
Yeah, she'll put her arm around yours, kind of lead the way back to her room. Though, as soon as she's out of eyesight of her father, no communication, no talking to you.
She's just just a dead wall.
Pretty much.
Even if I'm like, so, how are you? So, I very much look forward to our meeting tomorrow.
She looks at you and like kind of feigns a smile, like as like depressed as she looked in the room, she looks even more so without having like her father there to like supervise her, and she just goes, yeah, that's going to be nice.
Yes. As we start to get closer to her room, and I'm just going to, I don't know if you noticed, but you bear a striking resemblance to my companion.
She is going to look a little confused, and she's going to say, oh, did I? I'm sorry, I didn't quite notice her features, if I'm being honest.
Oh no, you're fine. It was mainly, were there any features that didn't quite match between her and T? Like features that like the hair and everything, but were there features that like they didn't share?
The one like most noticeable feature of difference was their eye colors.
T's are red.
Yeah, and Lady Rockford's are green.
Yes, the only way that you could tell the two of you apart was the eyes. But red eyes are a very uncommon feature.
She nods solemnly and then give me an insight check. That's a
dirty 20.
Dirty
hell
20
yeah.
insight. Okay,
I'm fishing, boys.
You mentioned red eyes, and you notice that kind of, it's very subtle, but like some sort of shift in her face makes you realize, oh, that triggered some kind of memory or something for her. Like you can try to press it if you want, but it looks like she's not going to be a little forthcoming with it.
Oh, yes, she's the only person that I've ever met to share that eye color. I don't know about you, but
and she for the briefest of seconds, you see a small smile flit across her face, and she says, I knew someone with red eyes once, but I haven't seen him in some time.
oh, I see. If you must have been quite the individual to get you to smile like that.
She you actually notice like a little flush comes up on her cheeks, and she goes, oh, yeah, he was something. And at this point, you've reached her door, and she says, well, this is where we must part for tonight, Lord Fowler.
Yes, of course, my lady. Going to kind of do the gentleman thing of like opening the door for her and holding it.
Mm-hmm. You open her door, hold it open for her. She walks in, curtsies and says, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and I hope you have a pleasant evening.
As do I. If I may request something, if I may be so bold. If you could, no offense to you, my lady, but I understand it's late and you seemed a bit tired. I enjoyed our talk, and I would have a wonderful time if, when we meet for tea, if I could see more of, well, and like he'll kind of just motion to where like the flush is still at her cheek and like maybe the slight smile.
She, give me a persuasion check.
Oh wait, that was perception. That was perception. That was.
You
Can
know,
I re-roll that?
I'll be nice and not make you keep that nat one.
Okay.
15. Okay. You get another little smile, and she says, "I'll see what I can do." As she shuts the door.
Second, she shuts the door. Oberon looks to the left and to the right. Is there anybody immediately there?
No.
Like instantly just starts heavy, like walks a couple paces from her door and then like bends over, hands on the knees.
New for you to be charming, huh?
I feel like it's like Oberon is flexing a muscle he hasn't like been training that well, and now all of a sudden he finally.
Deltoids, biceps, no fucking problem. Charm.
Yeah. He's just like, okay. Edgar must not know. And just begins like walking back.
Cut to a flashback of Edgar and Oberon like training on flirting, preparing to go into Madame Chevreuse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Why am I so bad at this?
Wonderful. So I'm gonna say you meet. So I'm gonna say, as you're like escorting Lady Rockford, T, you and Lord Rockford are at the entrance. You've just left the room, and Lord Rockford smiles at you and says, "Yes, well, this may be a very fortuitous night indeed. Thank you very much for stopping by. That was wonderful."
Of course.
Yeah.
You know, whenever I visit a new town, especially with my soon station, I like to make sure that I rub elbows with the proper people.
Right, of course. We we must always ensure to do that. Now, I hope you don't mind me asking, but I do believe that it has been a while since I have heard from the Lord Richmond. I hope you don't mind if maybe tomorrow, when the Lord Fowler comes over, I could give him a message to send over to the Lord Richmond.
Oh, you could certainly take a message back with us.
That would be
No
lovely.
trouble at all.
I would very much appreciate that. He says, he looks at you. He's going to look at you, and for the first time tonight, you realize like he's actually kind of giving you full-on attention.
He's looking at a person, not the status.
Yeah, and then you see like this sort of flicker on his face as he makes an insight check.
Oh no!
Fuck.
I'm scared.
Turn into an old lady, Alice.
Rips the skin off.
Oh, he rolled like shit.
He rolled an 8 on his insight check. So you see that like brief flicker of potential recognition on his face, but then he kind of like blinks it away and says, "My apologies, something just mind wanders."
No matter.
And as he says that, I think that's when Oberon shows up, like coming down the stairs into the main entrance hall.
Yeah,
Still,
like he stopped. No, he stops like right before like the hallway and just goes.
Back into character.
Yeah.
Deception check. Do it.
He pulls a Sharpay. Just.
right next to a guard who's just like, dude, you okay?
Guard's just like,
No.
I don't get paid enough for this.
No, you don't. And then he doesn't actually say that, but yeah, walks back there.
All right, yeah. So you walk through. The Lord Rockford offers you another good night. Says again how he's very excited to be seeing you tomorrow.
Yes. What time?
You'd think that Lord Rockford was going on the date, you know?
Yeah. Definitely that vibe. He says, well, afternoon tea, it's a very casual thing. So, you can just come in whenever at your leisure, potentially around 3 o'clock, but whatever best suits you. But, maybe 3 o'clock might be best, but whatever suits you.
Of course. I will arrive when needed.
Of course, of course, yes, of course.
Pleasure to meet you again.
The pleasure is certainly all mine, my boy.
And then do the thing of hold my arm out to escort T.
Oh yeah. She takes it, kind of like hugs it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like a little closer than normal people do.
Yeah, no, and like
Because she's tea and she can't help it to a certain extent.
right, and Lord Rockford, like, he does kind of give like a little look that's a little bit of a back off hussy vibe, but
Professionally, yes.
but professionally, so
A professional begone thought.
yes, indeed.
No. She's a professional hussy.
Oh, okay, that also works.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So I imagine you all are going to be heading back to the inn as well.
Yeah, and on the way back, we will share our findings to each other. Or
Is
maybe not all of
Oberon
them?
gonna have an interesting convo on the walk back?
I'm gonna roll something at you, Jack.
Okay.
dip.
Oberon stabs T.
Is this where the betrayal happens? I thought that was only in one shot.
So what are you
then-
gonna do
and
with
then-
that role, Oberon?
Trey's plan from the beginning, the campaign where someone kills Oberon and that's his character comes into play.
Damn it.
Mm-hmm. My entire
A
plan.
long con.
Don't AJ us.
long con on us.
He will share that she was silent the entire trip up to her room, and that but he did manage to make her at least not make some conversation, but she was very distant.
Okay,
Mhm.
sure. And she'll just mention that he wants us to bring mail back to Lord Richmond.
Oh, and like you see, like Oberon's shoulders kind of like slump a bit underweight, and just I never thought I'd have to do this again.
You're still wearing Tauros's armor, so it's like a little
Yeah.
out of size for you.
Yeah, it's like loose in some places, but then tighter in other places. It's
Mhm.
just the cod piece is just digging in right now.
We cross into the poorer section of town, and they go from the lord and lady to the casual bougie elf couple.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just I never thought that again.
Court seems exhausting.
Yes, we're lucky. Lord Richmond appears very, and like he's not gonna like say this super out loud just because,
Right.
because he does know Noble's Folly is in the city.
Noble's
And he's a
Folly.
little, or
Wrong
not-
game, bro.
Wrong game. Wrong game. Wrong game. Same player.
Yeah.
But he is
The resistance.
the resistance. But there is we're lucky Lord Richmond is very desperate to pass his daughter.
Yes.
All right. So eventually, you all all five of you are back at the inn. Are you all like meeting up in the couples
In
room to share your?
I feel like we're
information?
meeting up in their room. I feel like we're meeting
Yeah,
up in their
We're
room.
meeting
'cause now-
because the rabble isn't allowed on the second
the
floor.
That's
rabble
true.
isn't
That's a good
allowed.
point. So you meet up in the quote unquote servants' quarters.
Edgar is drinking again.
Okay.
Fair. He
Esther-
gets like a martini on the way in.
Okay.
Esther grabs whatever the strongest drink is.
The innkeeper T says, "Oh, of course, on the house for your lovely honeymoon."
Oh, how kind of you.
Oberon just kind of books it into the room. Oh,
Yeah,
someone's
no.
eager.
She'll grab an ale for him.
This is the weirdest romance movie. Should I marry the mom or the daughter?
Poor Kayla knows
He has got it going on.
All right. So you get
I'm
into
surprised Alice didn't react at all to my Discord message. I was surprised at.
Don't fucking test me.
So you get into the room on the first floor. You two get in there. T's nursing a martini. She has an ale in her hand to give to Oberon. You open the door and there's just 3 guys who looked like they were already drinking before they got here, and then 2 of them have started drinking again.
One of them is like a little bent over, and like he's like, "Oh no."
So I guess we won.
So
And she like kind of shoves the ale into his chest, like, you need this.
I was about to say, he's seeing this, he's like, okay, maybe more. But like puts it away for later. He just instantly turns to Edgar. What happened?
I look at Taurus. I think Essa should share. Don't you, Taurus?
Oh.
I bet that inspires a lot of confidence in Oberon.
It inspires 0.
Here, there's like a oh, I guess so. My head.
I guess we'll go with good news last. You first.
Yeah. So, bad news. We're kind of trapped in helping out the rebellion for a little bit.
Oh.
Okay, so start from the beginning, because this all happened.
A very good place to start.
While we were waiting for you two to return, we decided, you know what, let's do a drinking game to pass the time. And so we did with the three of the hunters who had come back. Well, they were all, well, one of them was at least a giant racist prick. And so one of the barmaids came around, kicked all their asses, and kicked them out.
That was the good part.
That was
a barmaid kicked their asses?
Yes.
Not a barmaid. A maid. Not a barmaid.
A maid. Sorry. Apologies. I've
A
been
maid.
drinking a lot.
We'll get there.
We'll
She's
get to
taller
that
than
part
me.
later. Anyway, that's the only good part of this story. So, confused, we learned that she was part of the rebellion, and she found out I was, so she pulled us into the back to meet. And things are going well at first.
She was
until
okay with you being an ex-member of the rebellion?
She did not know that. And she does not know that. And well, she knows that, but she does not know why I left, and we're going to keep it that way.
I like how you gloss over. She doesn't know that. Well, she knows that now, but I'll get to that part.
So things were going well at first, and then I, in my ways, had a slip of the tongue and fucked everything. So
Taurus raises a hand and just says, "To be fair, Essa tried to tell the truth for once. We gotta give him some
and
points.
that was a mistake. Anyway, so
That was the
the
mistake.
information. What we learned is from this woman that one of her operatives, a Farrier, I believe, Fair, a halfling named Fair, was stalking or reconnaissing on Lord Rockford. Sorry.
Rockford.
Lord Rockford, and discovered that he leaves his mansion not every night, but multiple times a week near midnight to go to some place outside the city. It's outside the city, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was sent to follow Lord Rockford to find out where this place is, and he hasn't reported back, and it's been about a week.
Oh.
Okay.
She wants us, after she found out that we weren't really part of the rebellion, but we learned that our allegiances lie in the same place. She wants us to help discover this operative, find out what happened to it, and she'll give us more information on Lord Rockford and what he's been doing in the city.
As you say that, Oberon's gets a very confused look on his face. But we don't. We are in the employment of Lady Ward.
To keep him in.
To keep Lord Rockford in power. But
We haven't agreed. I see where we haven't agreed to anything. We're not on the best terms. If we want to keep on their good side, she is very strong. This is what we would do.
She kicked 3 hunters' asses by herself. Keep that in mind.
Okay. Now answer this question.
Taurus
you
is
said
like,
you'd get to her.
And Edgar thought she was hot, so.
Nobody has said that. That is not said out loud.
So you said you would get to her being a maid later. What did you mean by that?
Yes, I'm waiting for that to be involved.
She is a maid of Lord Rockford.
The glass cracks in
Well,
Oberon's hand.
one of the lead maids is what she said specifically.
She's the head maid.
A couple
of
more
Rockford
cracks.
Manor.
The head maid of Rockford Manor. Anybody share that? As the glass is slowly cracking in Oberon's hand.
Well, it looks like we may run into her sooner than later.
It's
Oh,
okay though.
Would you
all...
like to tell the group about your date tomorrow?
Yes.
With the woman who looks exactly like me?
Yeah.
So what?
I'm sorry, what?
Huh?
Eileen Rockford could be my twin. With green
Except
eyes.
Sorry,
a little
what?
older. Yes, very similar. Down to, well,
And well, when we walked in there with the names of fake nobles, Lord Rockford got excited and decided that our boy should meet Eileen and they should have tea together alone tomorrow at 3. Also, he's going to write a secret letter to Lord Richmond for me to bring back. I might have told him that I was engaged to Lord Richmond.
yes. And now we have to deal with the fact that the head maid of the manor is going to most likely see me tomorrow. The head maid who
She
is
could serve your tea.
I'm going to very funny tea. Who's going to most likely know who I am if she is part of this grand organized group. Am I wrong?
You are not.
Listen, things could have gone a lot smoother on our end, but we learned something very important about Rockford. And we have the potential to have someone who has built the relationships we don't have to get us in and out of Rockford Manor if needed. I know things got a little fucky, but I think it is worth it for what we're trying to do to find out where the fuck this guy is going at night. If we save Fair, we stay on their good side. The rest of the shit,
Okay.
Did they have any leads about what the second location was?
they say he leaves at midnight with one of his guard, and Fair was tracking them from there.
So
No ideas of the significance of the location?
No.
Something,
It's not every night.
Something.
yeah.
and you and we were and Oberon seems to slump. The blackmailers have become the blackmailed, it seems.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, do you guys have a lead on what has happened from your end?
Yes.
Did you talk to her? So what happened?
Oberon did get a moment alone with her.
She was very resolute, very sullen. Almost like
She was a shadow of a person.
seemed like a puppet more than a person, but I saw something at the end. I think I can get through.
Oh.
Ask her. Maybe anything up in casual conversation. But that is very difficult because now we are tied to this in other places, and the head maid, should he not do what she says, can very easily out me.
The head maid needs us. I'm looking at Oberon. Calm the fuck down. I know where you're going with this. You don't have all the answers right now.
I don't, but I'm at least trying to get some.
Yeah, and we have a connection on the inside who we don't need to fuck over, and who would also fuck herself over for losing us.
Tell me right now what she has to lose in us being exposed that she can't find in the next group.
She has no operatives.
All her operations have ceased because of the disappearance of Freya. Yeah, sorry. All of them, they have been frozen because she's afraid there might be a leak. Letting the knowledge of this cell of the rebellion be exposed. And we aren't tied with the rebellion in any way. Nobody's a member here. Nobody has any medallions of it. free of them.
Jack, I'm just going to roll up. Roll a
Insight
general
check that he doesn't have a
No.
medallion.
No, I'm just going to roll a general intelligence check just to see how well Oberon's piecing this together.
Gotcha.
Understood.
Do you want to share the roll you just made?
Ah, great.
Hot.
A whole 3.
30. It's a 30.
If she decides not to work with us or out you in any way that would harm you, then she fucks herself over learning anything about Lord Rockford and anything about what that second place is.
I do want to say, give me a very quick insight check, Oberon.
Turn back on public.
16? Okay, so here's something. At the very least, it occurs to you in this moment, even if you're not able to fully piece things together from like a straight how operations work and stuff like that.
Sherlock Holmes,
Right.
like big board method.
You realize, like, even if she recognizes that you are a Claudius when you get to this T, at the very least, if she doesn't know you're associated with the rest of the group, all she'll know is that a Claudius is pretending to be a Fowler and meeting with a Rockford. That's, not ideal, but
it's not the craziest thing that, like...
Yeah,
It's
it
like
might,
it's
it
not
might
the fact that a
be the
Claudius
Claudiuses are
is-
trying to pull some shit. It's not necessarily,
which would
this
be very
Claudius
believable.
is working with a
Mhm.
potentially insurrectionist group.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have something else. We have 2 elf nobles who have made a very good impression on Lord Rockford. Would be a shame if they were to out the head maid as a member of the rebellion.
That is true.
More
And it
likely to
appears we
believe
have leverage
you.
both ways.
No.
We know that the bar is at least a hideout for them. Would be a shame if that place were to be ransacked.
Yeah, it's just the second you mention, like, being outed by the maid, like, Oberon, like, right above his eye twitches. And, like, another, like, series of cracks forms on the glass.
Well, what's our next step? I mean, Oberon has his date tomorrow.
I'm sorry,
What
Taurus,
else do we
you're
have
going
to
to
do?
need the armor for at least a little while.
That's all right. Worst comes to worst, I can fight when I need to.
Sounds like tea's happening first anyway. I told the maid we would talk to her around the same time that night
All right.
with the
Like how-
decision on what we want to do.
And what will we spend our morning doing?
Did you? I'm assuming your group, the bar group, told Oberon and T that the goal of the rebellion is to depose
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Lord Rockford.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, I mentioned that.
Yeah, Essa mentioned that. Oberon.
Okay.
That's when Oberon was like,
Pointed out
that's
the flaw.
going completely.
That's when
said,
Oberon started to
yeah.
lose it a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, I said our values align. That's not the truth.
Yeah, no, very much. No, you're.
We
that's
both
wishful thinking.
we both hate Lord Rockford, but we want to do 2 different things with him.
I was about to say that. Oh, we both like pizza. Oh, I want world domination. I want world peace. But hey, we have the same value of pizza.
There we go.
It's something.
Pizza unites all.
What time is it now, Jack?
I'd say like late in the evening, so probably close to around 8, 9.
Mhm.
Ooh.
Well, shall we to bed, dearest? Giving like a really uncomfortable look at Oberon.
You notice as earlier Oberon was like flustered and like he seems just like heavy, like just like he like his shoulders are slumped, his head's kind of like tilted forward a bit, and just of course.
Man, he's whipped already.
I know what's the pants in this relationship.
All right. So I guess everyone's taking a long rest then.
I want to talk to T.
Okay.
I see.
Sure.
You don't have any
Do
connection
you
to
like talk to her privately or with the rest of the
if
group?
possible. Yeah, if there's
Oh
a
yeah, she'll
moment.
let you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you two find like a kind of private area in the tavern away from prying eyes.
You don't have any. Do you have any connection to Cashel?
I truly don't know. I mean, not that I know of.
Cause she's gotta be old.
I know.
Significantly older than you, right?
She physically looked like she was like 28.
But we know the timeline. We
Yeah,
know
yeah.
she's got her 60s.
And the way that elves age.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Yeah.
like if she's
Yeah.
physically 28, then she's like she's older.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Here's what I know. I was dropped off by someone in the dead of night at the shittiest orphanage in Avon. That's what I know. I was not given any tokens or talismans. I have nothing. If I do have connection to these people, it's entirely out of my knowledge.
All right. Well, if shit hits the fan, if all goes wrong and things that we wanted to happen don't happen, how important is it to you to find out more about her? Family is a lot. Family is one of the few things you can count on.
I've never had one of those.
Yeah.
I mean, I have Chevra, of course. But I'll be okay if I have to sacrifice that, if that's what you're asking.
Okay.
I want to know, but I don't need it.
Okay.
I managed to find someone who filled that kind of space in my life, and I'm not done with it yet, but I'll be okay if we have to ignore that.
Yeah. I wanted to know because if that was important for you, I don't know for the rest, but I'd have your back to make sure you got the answers you needed.
I appreciate that, Edgar. I really do.
Hey, just while I have you real quick,
Sure.
I have an issue where I keep seeming to say the things that come to mind out loud. You seem to be good at words. How do I stop that?
How do you stop impulsivity?
Yeah.
Well, my method of training that out of someone is, well, not in this exact instance, but I do enjoy a good tease. You know, set it up. Set up the perfect situation for that impulsive thought. Keep on doing it again and again until you train yourself. No. Down, boy. That's how we
That's
dealt with it
very-
at Chevro's
I'm
anyway.
not gonna lie, the fucking Rihanna song started playing in my head when she was like, how to control impulses.
I'm not gonna lie, the thought of that is incredibly scary.
Oh, but isn't that the fun part?
No. No.
Oh dear. Well, sooner or later, I'm bound to rub off on you somehow.
I don't like how you said that. I'm gonna go.
And he's like kind of like very conspicuously covering his crotch as he's like walking to the room.
Oh, she looks while he walks away. She looks. And then goes back to her room.
All right. If no other consultation or things going on.
I would like to do something.
Okay.
Like as everyone goes to bed, I'm gonna walk down at the bar. Like, does the bar and have like an alleyway kind of out of sight?
Yeah, there's like an alley nearby you can duck into.
Can I scale the wall and get up on the roof of the inn?
Yeah. Give me an acrobatics check.
Yeah. At the
25. Oh, you scurry on up.
Damn.
So he's gonna sit there. I forget. I always forget. Like, what season are we in this world?
Right now it is.
I keep thinking it's fall, but I think it's like late summer.
Yeah, it's in the
Yeah,
fall
school
right
just
now.
got out.
Okay, fall.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna sit. He's gonna sit and enjoy like the kind of nice. I imagine kind of coldish
Mhm.
air at the night, and he's gonna try to contact one of the spirits.
Okay, give me a religion check.
19.
19. Yeah, so you kind of concentrate and focus in on this strange ethereal connection that you have, and you feel the kind of pleasantly cool autumn air. It like dips even colder until now it's like very chilly, and a shiver kind of runs through your spine as you open your eyes again, and the spectral form of a wood elf woman floats above you.
I have a question for you. What's your name?
I am Irina.
Was that the name you had when you were married to Lord Richmond?
Yes.
My friend is going to be another. She seems to be on the track to be another victim. I can't do shit to stop it, it seems. Fuck up at every turn. None of them trust me. None of them, I assume none of them even like me. I'm lost.
She like takes a breath, kind of floats down towards you, and says, "You were tasked to avenge us. It is your duty to do so. That is why we gave you the powers we have. It will be difficult, but you cannot allow another one of us to fall victim to his ploys."
He didn't say anything. He just kind of gives a very slight nod, and I like if the ghost could make a just like check, she wouldn't need to in order to like see like he is not confident in himself that he can do this at all.
Mm-hmm. She is going to place like a hand on your shoulder, and even though it's like soul chilling, the level of like you feel like this sort of primal hackles raise and stuff like that, but there is some level of comfort granted by the gesture. And she says, "Vengeance would not have chosen you if you weren't able to carry out this duty. You were not chosen at random. You can accomplish this justice."
He's gonna, hearing that, he's going to take like his glove off, basically one of his gloves, pull out his dagger, and he's going to carve into his hand a tick mark for every victim that has been held by Lord Richmond. And he's going to like go for one that would represent T. He's going to stop, gonna pull back for a bit. He's gonna look at this. He goes, "Every time I fail, I will add one more, and I will scar every part of me till Richmond is dead."
There's like a nod from the spectral woman as she, you feel like that coldness dispel and her form evaporates into the night mist rolling off of the river.
As it doesn't say out loud, but his thoughts are, "And now I have a bloody hand stuck on a dirty roof." That was not fun.
Tetanus.
A core tenet of D&D.
Yeah, self-harm.
A core tetanus of D&D.
He's gonna immediately put the glove back on. He'll sit out there for like 2 or 3-ish hours and then come back inside after everyone's asleep.
Okay. All right.
I want to do one thing while we're trying to sleep.
Okay.
As like I'm sharing, Essa's not there, but as like Edgar and Tauros, I think we're sharing the same room, are like in bed trying to go to sleep. Edgar's thinking about the day he's had, and as he's just going through everything that happened, his mind just keeps going back to the drunk hunter talking about the lizard folk. And it just keeps replaying in his head, and he starts thinking more and more about it, and starts thinking about the other person from the academy who is the most important person in his life, besides his mom, who is also a lizard folk. And just a rush of anger and guilt for not standing up just like swirls through his head as that's all happening. And I would like to make a wisdom save to see if I can control me from having a primal avatar outburst.
Go for it.
Whilst trying to
We're gonna say a DC 15.
All right, I have a -2 to my wisdom saves. That's a 7.
Okay.
Oh.
I'd say like if you weren't drunk, it would have been a lower DC, but yeah. So a 7, you erupt, like as like you're trying to quell this guilt, this frustration, this shame, this feeling of like, fuck, I have all these principles, but I've failed them, and feeling almost like you have failed your friend in this moment, even though there's no way that they would know what happened. And then you also start realize, mixed in with that, you also feel this feeling of, I didn't even reach out to them when I got back to the capital. They don't even know if I got my certification or if I even survived the mission that I went on. And all of this guilt and frustration and shame and self-loathing just kind of coalesces in your core. And I think, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I think when this strong self-loathing and shame is the thing that's driving this emotional outburst, it's not the Asori that shows up.
So I think if it fully forms, Tauros would probably hear it. Like there's like little cracklings of lightning as it comes out. And if you look over at Edgar, you see long blonde hair draped over like pretty much the entire bed. The longest pointed ears you've seen. Fingernails and fingers. Like his wingspan has like almost doubled. Like his arms have gotten significantly longer, as there's like it's like on paper this is gorgeous, like what you're seeing is beautiful, but there's a haunting aura about it as you see he takes a primal sylvan form.
Tauros is like kind of like trying to sleep, and he's like kind of like his brain's kind of wandering, starting to dream a little bit. He like looks over at the sudden sound, and the sudden changes. Oh, that's not normal. And he kind of like goes back to sleep. And then he does a double take. He's like, whoa, whoa. He kind of like says it was, Edgar? Edgar, what are you... What? Are you wearing a costume?
No, lovely. I apologize for waking you. This was Not my intention, but my foolishness, my naivete, let's say, has forced this side to come out. Please, I don't wish to bother your sleep.
Who the fuck are you?
I think as you're saying that, that's when Essa comes back in.
I was like, sorry. Oh, what? Oh,
Essa, I am so sorry for this. This was not meant to be.
who?
Tauros
Taurus,
slowly stands up and kind of like cracks his knuckles. Where's Edgar? What did you do with my boy?
Darlings, no. I am Edgar.
Do
not
not
call
call
me
me
darling.
darling. What did you do with Edgar?
You like see like
Oh,
the eye-patched eye that was there is just like fully covered with hair still, and
can
you
I-
still see the other eye is red. Like, I know, I apologize. This is
Jack,
I
could
tried
I-
my best.
sorry,
Go
Jack.
ahead.
Could I make a intelligence check to see if I can see that? Is it similar like when he transformed into a Soria back in the with the fight with Shamus?
Yeah, you can definitely try that.
That's 22. When it comes to put pieces together, S is not the worst.
No, yeah, I'd say with a 22, you can piece this together.
So this, because you mentioned before that you had another form, right? All of us.
Yes.
So he goes, so this is that other form you were talking about.
I knew you were the smart one, Essa.
No.
Yes,
Hey,
I
yo.
apologize.
Hey, I'm standing right here.
Tauros, no. Darling, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it that way. You are smart, you are wise, you are charismatic, you are strong.
I'm starting to miss Dickhead Edgar a lot.
I feel like what you're saying sounds like things Edgar would say, but not in the way Edgar would say them. And that's
Oh, I know. And I apologize for when I'm in my non-primal state for how I act at some points. This form, this Sylvan aura has more decorum.
So, is this the real you, or is the Edgar as we know him, the real Edgar, and you're just another part of him?
Darling, we all wear masks, don't we, Essa? Who's to say this is the real form? Who's to say it's not? I'm Edgar. All those forms are Edgar. I just think this one is the prettiest out of the three.
So why are you
Edgar. Edgar.
Edgar,
he, Edgar.
He's Edgar, he's Edgar, I'm Edgar! Is there any more Edgars I should know about?
Meow. Edgar.
I'm out.
So how did you, Taurus? What happened? You were in here, I wasn't.
I was just trying to sleep, man. I don't know.
In deep apologies. I am so
No,
sorry.
don't apologize.
Stop
Where are
that.
you?
Weird.
My dears, I will go make you some tea.
No!
No.
Say a snarky remark or something. Who?
No.
Be broody. What? How? Okay.
How
Why did you transform, Edgar?
We have all had a very long day. Perhaps I should sing. I could sing just a lovely song, a lullaby, perhaps.
Tauros is like, there's a part of his mind is like, wait, this sounds like funny blackmail, and then he thinks back to earlier. He's like, no, I already have blackmail on Edgar. I really don't want to have more on him today. I feel like I should pity this. He's like, no.
I like to imagine Tauros and SR trying to whisper, and Edgar's going full blown, as boisterous and loud as he can be. It's so how did you? Why you? Okay, whoa. Okay.
So when you switch forms like you do, you switch your personality too?
You see, as this happening, Edgar has one of his long fingernails just twirling the long blonde hair near his legs at this point, as he's just sit back reclining in his bed. Yes, I know this is all very confusing. To be fair, I don't fully understand all of it just yet. They don't really teach classes on primal avatars at Avon Academy. But before the other side of me popped out when we were all together, this was the only form I knew. It is apparently a connection to your origins, your heritage, who you truly are and what you come from, tapping into that. And yes, that has some impacts on my personality. Personally, I think this version of me is the most kind, caring, suave.
When you turn back to Edgar, you remember like all how
Oh,
you.
I am still fully Edgar, yes. I get quite in a tizzy after this one. Especially, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I know.
Wow,
Figured out how much he hates this one before.
I
He hates it.
I
hate it.
mentioned it before.
I'm so upset right now.
I am beside myself.
So
I am
So-
absolutely appalled with my
How do you-
actions at the moment.
How do you go back? Like, how can
It
we,
just happens after such amount of time, usually exhaustion, anything. If I wanted to go back, I would.
Does Edgar want to go back?
I am Edgar. I'm happy with where I am.
I have a feeling you're not going to be in a couple hours, but okay.
Yes, please don't tease me too much. Although, that would be
I-
quite funny.
Wasn't that the homework you got from T though?
Okay.
Do you want to share secrets? Perhaps we should do a little fort, get in a little circle.
Oh my
I could
God.
still brew that tea.
I don't have secrets.
Roll a fucking deception check, you dumb bitch.
God damn it! I'm going for a cracked roll.
Uh,
18.
Oh, that's an 18 insight.
Edgar
Tor-
puts his hands on your shoulders.
And starts massaging them.
Tauros, this is
Bad
going
touch,
to be a little
bad touch.
game. I'm going to slowly pick and prod until I find those secrets of yours.
How
But don't worry,
Soros-
darling, you're going to love it.
Edgar is going to hate himself when he comes
Does
back.
he sense like a disturbance in the force?
My roll.
Oh yeah, her spidey senses are going crazy, and she doesn't know why.
Mhm.
What about a prank? We could do a prank.
On who?
The tavern keeper, Oberon. Oberon's typically the one we prank.
Does
He would
Oberon
be interesting
know
too.
about all this?
He's seen this form once or twice.
You keep referring to yourself by we, like you're multiple people.
It's difficult to understand.
No. I think I've put it together. I get it. It's not a split personality, but it's a part of you that isn't you.
I've just kind of. Have you seen like those enchanted rings that change with your mood? I've kind of gone like a cerulean,
So you're a living
and I'm vibing
mood.
with.
You're a living
You
mood
cannot tell me that this form of Edgar does not believe in astrology.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm a Cancer rising, just like T's mother.
Do you going there? Do you going there?
So, what's everyone's rising sign?
I don't.
What if we replaced all of the alcohol with just some laxatives? Easy, simple. In and out in an
I'm
hour.
not going to take part in that, but it does sound better that you're starting to sound more like the Edgar I know.
That's more Edgar's big. So hold up. So with torso thing, I kind of got together. So when you switch forms, you shine more of a light on parts of Edgar's personality he represses.
Oh, darling, I'm repressing quite a bit. Like a lot, honestly.
Well, yes, but normally Edgar is not this kind and/or flamboyant.
I
and/or
know.
boisterous.
And I really wish I'd come out of my shell more in my base form, as we refer to it. Listen, just when I wake up tomorrow, just give me a nice little pat on the back and say, "Hey, E-Man, everything's going to be okay."
Email.
I fully believe that that's a nickname Edgar has always wanted for himself, but has never actually told anyone that he wants that nickname. But now he has the confidence to assert it.
It started with Castor when he called Castor Seaman.
God, Trey.
Tauros looks like he goes to ask a question, but he kind of bites his tongue as he kind of thinks.
Have you thought about growing out your hair, Tauros?
No.
I think it would look fantastic.
It is horribly uncomfortable with the horns.
That is true.
Okay.
Can you pierce horns?
I imagine that would hurt if you could.
Well, I mean,
Darling, it's only fun if it hurts.
There's just a more, looks to the floor, eyes go wide, just
Oh, don't tell Kanasha I said
He's
that.
trying to fall asleep,
Oh!
and then he says that from the other
Edgar.
floor, and she sits bolt upright.
He's like,
Edgar,
who is making innuendos without me?
Edgar, could you repeat that name you said?
As Edgar realizes he said that, I want base form to force himself out.
Okay. Just immediately, you say, "Oh, don't tell Kanasha I said that," and then Essa says, "Wait, what was that name?" And then just you hear this pride, from deep within Edgar's chest. It's not even it's not this form of Edgar screaming, but you hear Edgar screaming, and then all of a sudden the hair recedes back, the wings poke back, and just back into the Edgar you're all used to.
Nope.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna go sleep on the roof.
Maybe jump off while I'm at it.
Would not recommend. Very comfortable doing that.
I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
Fair
and
enough.
there's just a bunch of bloody handprints. He's like, "What the fuck?"
All right, yeah, it will be blood there.
Somewhere.
All right, I think that's that's it for the night. Edgar, give me a con save since you're sleeping on the roof.
You die to the natural
All
elements.
right, you avoid taking a level of exhaustion as you sleep in the exposed elements.
Apologies for that derailing.
No, it's
that was
very
great.
very worth it.
Never apologize.
I love that there's just this with Edgar, Essa, and Tauros. This is this thing of we don't trust each other. We really like each other. We're kind of in the same boat of every other race hate, the higher races hate us. So we're kind of in the same boat. Tauros in the deeper part of that boat.
Oh my
We're
god!
a fucked up breakfast club.
Yeah,
AJ, he doesn't know what that movie is.
I know what
That's true.
He's too young.
Um,
Trey, did you want to share our particular traumas, how we're spending the night, or?
It's up to you. It's up to you. I'll let it be up to you. I'm fine if we just want to leave it as it happens.
Leave it between us.
Okay.
Cool.
fuck.
No.
No. All right. So sun comes up. Edgar, you wake up first out of everyone because you're on the fucking roof. And there's a bird pecking at your head as you wake up. It's thought you were dead, and you get up and it goes "Rawr!" and flies away.
It was a vulture.
What does it go, Jack?
It goes "Rawr!"
My god, it's a cat bird.
It's a tiny manticore.
It's a tiny manticore.
It just goes "Rah, say."
Now I'm thinking of the tiny manticore from fucking Adventure Time.
Edgar is drinking again.
And this is how Edgar slowly descends
Goes to
into alcoholism.
No.
No.
Everyone else gets up. You all can descend to the common room. There's some breakfast being prepared by the staff. Available for purchase. No continental breakfast, unfortunately.
Worst honeymoon spot ever.
Mm-hmm. The honeymoon package is just the roses and some free drinks. That's it. It's no actual anything else.
Is Edgar like at the bar?
He will not make eye contact.
No, Taurus just kind of like comes down the stairs, gets a little workout before everything, and he walks downstairs and doesn't even like try to make eye contact. Edgar, he just kind of sits next to him, like calls a water over and starts drinking. Just morning.
E-man. Say it.
No, he sits down. Just, hey, E-man, how's it going?
Like the
He
dwarf
doesn't look at him, and he has that like Tauros like blank stare on his face that you've seen where he shows little emotion, but you just hear out of the side of your head just go, "Hey, E-man, how's it going?"
The dwarf
You're
who's
fucking
like
hilarious, aren't
giving
you?
like drinks at the bar, like actually does like a fucking spit take and like kind of walks away. Like he has no clue what the context of that is, but he recognizes that it's silly as shit and he shouldn't be listening in on this conversation.
As someone joined chill like on the other side of Edgar, Taurus beside Edgar. What's up? Sleep well.
Just get it out now, please.
Oberon, you come into the common room and see the two of them, and you hear E-Man from across the room.
Oberon hears this and he's just like, oh.
Stop
He just
trying to
walks
make
by
me
and
mad.
just
It's not gonna happen.
he just walks. He just sits down and he just looks
He's
at
just
Taurus.
behind Edgar.
He Fancy Man came out, didn't he?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
T, you're there to hear Fancy Man came out.
Oberon would also know that only ever happens in dire combat or when something really emotional happens to Edgar. Because the only times he's seen it is when Edgar is having an emotional outburst.
He's just going to slide down a gold piece, wash it down.
Fancy Man. Now that's got my attention.
No, you are not allowed to meet. No. He's like saying this to himself, right?
Like in your head, you hear your Sylvan form being like, "But we would get along so well."
I know.
You would. That's the problem.
Oberon is, after he slides the coin, though, he's just going to go, probably best that I, at least until I finish my meeting. That I
Date. Say date.
Really, E-Man?
I need a win.
You're not getting one from me. My date... I'll be keeping mostly. And he just like kind of trails off. He's redressed in Taurus's armor. And he just like goes, gets himself some breakfast, and kind of just sits.
All right. Well, anything you guys want to do before the date, or any other plans you guys want to try to get accomplished before the other stuff you already know is going to happen today?
Taurus will offer, like, be like, "Hey, anybody want to go for like a jog? We could like get a scope on the rest of the city, get a workout."
I turn to Taurus and I go, I'm gonna do something real quick, but if you would hold off, I'd like to take up on the offer.
Okay. What's Essa getting done?
Going to his room and writing a letter real quick.
Okay.
To his contact, being like, it's a little lot more eloquently, but the essence of it is fucking help.
Okay. What specific kind of help are you asking for?
Trying to figure out how many cells of the rebellion there are now.
Mm-hmm.
What is the goal of the rebellion at the current moment? Why are there so many this deep into the empire and this far out on the frontier as well? And who is the one making these calls? He wants to see if it's still the same person he was when he was exiled.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. So you write that letter. There is like a post office you can have it sent through. That, like I say, like you could drop it off during your jog.
Yeah. As like a jogger, like there's like a post office. As it just real quick, he just throws it in.
Right.
Like a dunk.
Yeah.
You've sent off a message to your contact.
All right.
T is going to go into a darkened alley, assume her crone form, and try to get some more information.
Okay.
Try to make as many children cry as possible.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll say like during this kind of like mini downtime, we've got Tauros and Essa doing a jog around the city to partly as just exercise, but also partly as kind of getting more of a lay of the land.
Exactly.
T is going out looking for information in her crone form. Oberon and Edgar, you guys doing anything?
Edgar would ask T, do you need any help?
I'll certainly take the help if you'll come with me.
Yeah, I'll hop along. I'll tag along.
As they do that, Oberon is going to go up to his room, and he's just going to kind of like sit down, and he just takes out his standard, like the actual like flag part of his standard, just Claudius. And that's how he spends his downtime until time for his date.
On the back of the standard is a mirror, and it's just him like saying his
No, it's like the scroll.
daily affirmations.
It's like the scroll from Kung Fu Panda. Like you unfurl it, and it's a mirror, or it's reflective.
Okay, I'm gonna need a perception check from both Tauros and Edgar or Essa.
Nah, once.
Perception.
Oh, that's a 7. Oh, that's a 9.
7 and a 9. You guys are pretty focused on your workout, honestly.
It becomes a race.
Can I get an athletics check from both of you?
Hell yeah.
Athletics.
Please eat shit, and that's why they were suffering. Oh.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Okay. Well, we got a 21 from Essa and a 13 from Tauros. Tauros, you've been kind of slacking on your routine.
He hasn't been working out a lot.
So you're kind of huffing and puffing by the time you get back to the inn. Essa though, like you're good. Like you worked, but like you're feeling you got those endorphins running. Like you feel like accomplished.
I hit like the runner's high.
Yeah, you're feeling pretty all right. Neither of you get any like strong grasp of the city. Like you know the general layout of the city from walking around, but you don't know like any good like alleyways or connection roads or things like that could help like navigate the city better than any other tourist. I will also take I'll take an investigation check from Edgar and T, or since T is in her crone form, I would also take an intimidation check if she's just trying to like scare people into telling her what they know.
Ooh.
I'll give you the help action, whatever you want to do.
It was intimidation or perception?
Intimidation or investigation.
Investigation. Ooh, I suck dick at investigation.
Me too.
Great, then I guess I'm intimidating people today.
Okay.
Which I get advantage
also,
on.
I'm hooded up and I've tried to disguise myself as best, so I seem like it's not the same guy from yesterday.
Give me a deception check.
That's 11
6.
on my advantage intimidation.
Y'all just rolling.
Oh my God.
We're all rolling so like okay bad.
Thank God we're not in combat because it's
Right?
real bad.
So Edgar, you know the scene in Thor Ragnarok where he's like, where they're like, you still look like Thor. He's like, not if I do this, and like holds up the like shawl like across his face. That's as good as your disguise gets.
Perfect.
Wait, I've got an idea. He just flips the eye patch to the other eye.
Shit, hold on, I can make it better. Put on another one.
T, you go around, you scare a lot of kids.
Yeah.
And like, there's a lot of children who are going to have nightmares about scary old elf ladies stealing them away in the middle of the night to eat them. You may have just invented Baba Yaga in this town.
Yeah.
You know what? That was the goal. That was what I wanted out of this character.
Pack it up, boys. Let's going
Sexy Baba
home.
Yaga.
Unfortunately, you don't glean any new information from your time around town.
While that's happening, and I know it's not going well, I just start talking to T. So, wait, could you do that? Like, do this when you learned your magic? Or was it like you could always do this?
I was born with my magics.
Gotcha.
They're not something that happened one day. They've always been in me.
Gotcha. Interesting. Cool. Edgar can't make eye contact with you in this form.
Mm-hmm.
He's too scared.
Mm-hmm.
This is the
For a goth edgelord, his true self is coming out.
This is the one time where Edgar would be more comfortable staring at T's tits than her face.
Yeah.
Except her tits brought it off like 10 minutes ago.
All right. So you all regroup back at the inn with pretty much no new information, no new insights, but you know, you killed a few hours. So let's see. It's getting close to the time for Oberon's tea date with the Lady Rockford.
Okay.
Yeah. Has he like puts the standard away and just gets ready? He's going to like kind of pull T to the side. He just said if he's still there by dark.
Oh, yeah.
Something came up. Yeah.
Understood. Should I escort you to the manor?
I think that Lord Rock. I always want to say like Rockfell. It's Rockfield, right?
Rockfort.
Rockfort. Yeah. Lord Rockfort seems very keen on me. I think it would maybe make things a bit less tense if I went.
Sure.
I appreciate it. And right as he's about to leave, he'll just...
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you all come to like a definitive conclusion of what you're going to say to the rebellion woman?
No.
They did not.
We kind of glossed over that because we were terrified.
That's what we'll do while we're waiting for the date.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So what are we doing about this rebellion woman?
Listen.
What's up with those rebellion women, huh?
If we don't get what we need out of this meeting, this date that Oberon's going right now, we need a lead. We need something else to get more info. I don't mind telling her that we're working with her to get info on her agent. I'm not agreeing to any of the other shit beyond that.
So what exactly are the terms of the agreement?
We help find this missing operative or find at least what happened to them. And then we get more information on Lord Rockford, stuff we may not get from this meeting of Oberon and Dot.
Okay, so we show that we've attempted to find this agent.
Well, we have to find.
And then she tells us secrets.
Wait.
So we don't actually have to change anything.
Did you?
No.
I said, did you just say that we had to find the agent, or
We have to find what happened. Find out what happened to them at least. If they're dead, they're dead. There's nothing we do about that.
so we need
Shoot.
concrete?
She would much rather hope they're alive, but given what we know of Lord Rockford so far, best to say that's not the case.
And should we refuse
Well, that's on business is over with them. She will not expose us. She would have given no advantage to expose us, as far as I know.
We then use our leverage in case it risks getting violent. Neither of you should be at that meeting. It should stay the three of us. And we can then let them know that we have some connections on the inside. She will have probably seen you at your date, Oberon, so we could say someone by the name of Fowler might know a thing or two about the head maid. And it might be in her best interest to not cause issues with us, if the worst case scenario comes to. But if all things don't go well, I think we might end up having to find the second location anyway to learn Rockford's secret.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So with that kind of decided, Oberon, you are back at Rockford Manor. Knock on the door. The guard escorts you to a garden in the out the back of the manor. Sitting in the patio is Lady Rockford. She's wearing a warm dress suitable to the season. She looks at you, no smile, but a gentle nod, acknowledging you as you approach. You see standing next to her a imposing human woman in a maid outfit, who
That fits the description of the one
fits
they
the
gave
description of the one given to you by your colleagues.
Gotcha.
Lady Rockford nods and says, "Good afternoon, Lord Fowler."
It's a pleasure to meet you again, my ladies.
She nods, and without saying anything, the maid pulls a chair away from the patio table for you to sit. Assuming you do, and she will go at a cart. She has like a very pristine looking tea set. Pours out some tea for you and Lady Rockford. Puts out a tray of like some like finger cakes and snacks, and then gives a bow to you both as she walks back into the manor.
Oh, yes. She seemed lovely.
She looks at you for a second, then goes, "Oh, you mean my maid? Yes, Rosaline has been with me for several years now. She's been very nice."
Yes, she seems like she takes good care. And I'll like take one of like the finger cakes and try it.
Okay. Yeah, you try the finger cake. It's very sweet, very fluffy. It's the kind of food that you're used to having.
Gotcha. Understood. I don't know if this matters, Jack, but I would have set my Fey ancestry to a certain condition that I'll just message you, just in case. So yeah, after saying that, after saying that, just my lady, it would forgive me if I just seem upfront, but could you please tell me a bit about yourself?
She smiles a little bit and says, "Oh, not at all. Well, I am the only child of my father. I stand to inherit this land and this title once, time comes. I am afraid to admit that I haven't really spent much time outside of this city. It's mostly been the only place I've ever known.
Oh, you've never been outside city limits on a trip to a neighboring village, never gone to see anything of that?
She shakes her head. No, Father is rather protective of me. You notice when she says protective, there is definitely like a kind of flash of resentment on her face.
I see. I know a thing or two about overbearing. But it is what we do with their nature that really allows us to move past it, so to speak. Tell me, if you could go anywhere, where?
She thinks for a moment and then says, in truth, I don't really know much of where I would go out other than the city, though I guess if I could go anywhere, I'd return to the merchant's quarter. It's been so very long since I got to go there, and
Oh, did you have friends there? Were you?
she nods. She says, I met, a few of the merchants. I became friendly with a few of them. Father wasn't very excited at the idea of me debasing myself, so to speak, by engaging with those who are not of the nobility, but this is my home, and being with the people here is something that I found a lot of comfort in.
Of course. There's nothing wrong with seeking companionship, even to those that are viewed as not as high of a standard. Tell me, any good friends that you made? Close acquaintances?
Well, I knew this older woman at the marketplace. She was very lovely. We would talk for hours, it seemed like. Of course, there was also, and then like she kind of like catches herself and says, well, yeah, I also knew a hunter who was a very nice man.
Does she have the same look on her face as when I mentioned red eyes?
Absolutely.
Excuse me for being frank, but would this hunter fellow happen to be the same one with red eyes?
Give me a persuasion check, not necessarily to like try to convince her of anything, but just to like see how like
how well I can move the conversation over
right,
to that.
Yeah, how you can do it.
This is rolling for tact.
That one.
He's like, so you were fucking whatever his name.
No, can I describe how this now went?
Absolutely, go for it.
So, Oberon has had like this calm, like good, noble face, and as he goes to say, so would this happen to be the same man with red eyes? He's been kind of like casually, like kind of like munching on a finger cake, and as he goes to say eyes, he like without thinking, like just tosses it in his mouth and just. Like begins choking on it. Not like to the point where like but he definitely like goes into like a bit of a coughing.
You definitely fumbled. And
this is how Oberon dies.
Rip and piss. You did say you were excited about your backup character.
Oh, if my backup character shows up right now. Oh, boy,
oh no.
Boy.
His backup character is the finger kick that choked out Oberon.
My God.
You start choking a bit, and Lady Rockford looks a little concerned. She offers you your glass of tea to try to help wash it down.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, my lady.
And she says, "Oh, it's all right. But he that would be the same man.
I see. I knew a hunter who one day went on hunting. Sadly, we could never find him after that.
She looks genuinely remorseful, and she says, "I'm so sorry to hear that. It truly is a dangerous profession at times.
It is. How does your friend still fare?"
You ask that, and you, without even having to really look for it, you see she hesitates. You see a lot of emotion flash across her face, and she goes, I'm afraid that he is he's also no longer with us.
Oberon doesn't even try to be sad. He just genuinely is "Oh, I'm sorry. It's terrible. Was it an accident while on the job?"
Yeah, that's what it was. Give me an
Insight.
Ooh, an 11. Okay. So let me see here.
She hasn't talked to people in 20 years.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say, she has a 0 for her deception. So it's a flat roll. She needs a 12 or higher. She rolled 5. So she says, yes, that's what it was. But from the way she's no longer looking at you, from how just uncomfortable she looks as she says it, you know for a fact that that's not true.
Is the maid kind of returned and is standing by the doorway? Or...
Give me a perception check. You can't see her.
Yep, I can't. All right. Okay. This is where things.
This is really good. Bad.
I see. I'm terribly sorry. My lady, would you? Oberon looks like he's trying to find the right words and just. Do you think your father will allow us to go?
She looks at you and says, "Oh, I'm sure he would, so long as we don't leave the grounds." It's a big mansion, so it's it's a good walk from the city, so you could walk around this back garden.
Okay, I'll start. Well, show me the back garden.
Yeah, so she'll stand with you, show you some of the flower bushes, some of the trees, things like that.
Understood. Is there a place here where we privacy?
So you ask her if there's a place where you can find some privacy. I
want it to not be no sexual undertones.
Right.
No.
Give me a persuasion check.
Yeah, it's just a genuine question.
A 10. Let's see.
I haven't rolled above a 10.
We've all been rolling like ass tonight.
Rolled well in the initial meeting.
Of course we did.
Okay, yes, she you only roll a 10, but she's looks like she's able to glean what she like at first, like she kind of like blushes a bit, like holy shit, this dude's really fit, this guy moves quick. But then like it dawns on her that you're not asking for privacy away from to do things.
Yeah.
You're asking for privacy away from prying eyes. And she looks a little confused, but says, yes, let me show you one of our more exotic flowers that we have. And she like
Of
leads
course.
you to like kind of a far corner of the garden, like as far as you
Okay.
can reasonably get from the mansion.
Gotcha.
And like there's like a very beautiful like set of flowers growing there. And she says, kind of like in a hushed tone, just like, what is it you would need privacy to discuss?
Before I say anything, can I give one last perception check? Around?
Absolutely. You still do not, as far as you can tell, you two are the only ones within earshot of each other.
Gotcha. Like just closes his eyes for a second and then just opens them. I wish to know.
Just speak up a little bit, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I forget that like I'm like whispering like character would do, and I'm like, oh wait, I don't have to. I'm so sorry, but I genuinely do this to help you as much as I can. I wish to know what happened to Harrison.
You say, I wish to know what happened to Harrison. Eyes go wide. And like she like you notice like her hand kind of trembles a bit, and she says, "How did you know his name?"
I visited the Hunters Guild with my companion. We were just simply. She had heard rumors of a half-elf disappeared. The bleeding heart, she decided to investigate.
Give me a deception check. 12? Oh boy.
I feel like these past two sessions has just not been ours.
We are not rolling.
She could be worse. She could roll worse.
She could also roll a lot. 14.
She rolled a 10.
Oh.
And so she goes, yes, I can appreciate your companion, but I'm sorry, he's all...
Not as she starts to like get choked up, he's just going to like take her hand into his and like lay it on top, like kind of like in the soothing way, almost like, you know how when somebody begins to have a seizure and it's like support dog lays on them to like give them pressure, almost kind of like in that manner, and just he can help.
My father had him murdered. And she says, I fell in love with Harrison. And we were going to elope. We were going to run away. But my father found out. He's imprisoned me in this mansion, and he had my love murdered, and he forced me to give away my child. I'm going to need a deception check from Oberon to see if he's able to not, like,
freak the fuck out,
give away anything as he hears all of this. Oh, that's a 21. If ever there was one you needed to
If there
win.
was ever a time
Yeah.
to go big.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. No. I'm gonna like. It's effectively just a formality, but we'll see the insight.
She rolled that
Be
20.
insightful as shit.
She rolled a
You know.
14.
Ooh.
So yeah, you manage to like keep an even face as she like tells you all of this. And like she is like, you can see tears welling in her eyes. Like she's appreciating the comfort you're giving her, but like this is the first time she's been able to talk about this in years. So
It's slapping a band-aid on a fucking like explosive
Bullet wound.
right, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I appreciate it, but it's not helping.
In the wise words of an enlightened singer, band-aids do not fix bullet holes.
That's so true.
Yeah.
What is sage wisdom?
As she says this, again, just holding her hands. So soft. I believe that there's a way to potentially. What if me and my companion could find a way to have your father? And Oberon, like, time like slows down, and it's like, oh, may be able to find a way to bring his injustices to light.
Okay, yeah, she like immediately like tears well up and fall down her face, and she says, I would be so grateful. There's nothing I wouldn't give for justice to be done for me and my love and my child.
We recently found out that your father has been leaving late at night, and with a very heavy escort. Do you have any idea where he could be going? He goes out of town.
She's like racking her brain, and she says, there was an old fort outside of town that is technically within our domain. It could be there. It's very run down and abandoned, but that's the only place I can think of. It's about a 3 miles walk north from the city, from this mansion.
Understood. We are going to do our best. I am going to do my best. We will succeed.
She fully weeps, thanks you profusely, and like holds on to you for a moment as she like lets these years of burden and grief kind of explode out of her in a way that she really has not had the chance to let happen in so long. After, a few minutes, she manages to regain her composure, walks with you back to the patio, and then as you arrive at the patio, you see the maid is back, and she's like cleaning up the dishes, and Lady Rockford says to her, Rosalind, Lord Fowler is going to be leaving soon, but would you mind walking him to the door? And she nods and says, of course, my lady. And then she looks at you, Oberon, and says, I was also asked by the lord of the house to deliver this to you. And she hands you a letter, with a wax seal on the back showing the crest of Lord Rockford, addressed to Lord Richmond.
Yep. I take it and like stow it in like my pouch on the side. Thank you.
Yep.
And I turn back to the lady. A lady. And doesn't say anything else, but will like give her a very just gentle kiss on the back of the hand.
Yeah. She curtsies and says, I thank you so much for your visit, Lord Fowler.
I thank you as well. I must. Sorry, this is Trey having something in his throat. I do not know how much longer I will be in town, but should I be in town tomorrow, I would love another visit if at all possible.
She smiles and says, I would love one as well. All right. And then Rosalind will escort you to the front door. As you're walking, like, you hear like you know, the clacking of your shoes against the tile. Like, this woman is already super tall, and she's like wearing like 3-inch heels as she's like walking.
Yeah.
Like, Rockford has a specific dress code for his maids. And
he's got a type, is what you're saying.
Yeah. And like, as you're like approaching the front door, she is going to open it for you and say, have a good night, Lord Fowler. Although I guess I will be seeing you again later today. And then she gives you a condescending pat on the cheek as she shuts the door behind you.
I was going to say, can I like put a hand out to stop it?
Yeah, give me an athletics check real quick.
Cool.
Okay, yeah, you stop the door.
Just want to like go, not like anything exaggerated, but definitely like just put a hand out to stop it. I wish I could say I had met resistance before, but sadly, it appears you are all the same. And then I close the door in her face.
All right.
Can I just give a pure intimidation check for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
20.
17, still not bad.
Pretty good.
You slam the door, and you turn, and you kind of like, I imagine you're kind of storming off back to the
Not
inn.
storm off, but definitely like walking with a purpose.
Yeah, and I think that is where we end tonight's episode of Dice Age.
Let's go!
Good episode, guys.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Holy shit.